Okay, let's talk about it. Who versus whom? It is one of those classic grammar points that just seems designed to make us all feel a little bit silly. You know, it can make even the most confident English speakers pause and just second guess themselves. But what if I told you there's a super simple trick to get it right every single time? First things first, let's get this out of the way. You're probably sitting there thinking, is it just me? If you find this whole thing confusing, are you alone? Do native speakers have this all figured out? And the answer is a big resounding yes. You are absolutely not alone. In fact, the confusion is so common that in everyday language, the word whom is kind of fading away. It's becoming a bit of a relic. So seriously, take a deep breath. You are in very, very good company. So why, right? Why does this one little word cause so much grief for so many people? Let's dig into exactly why whom is on its way out. This really breaks it down. First off, using whom in a casual chat can sound a little stuffy, a bit posh, you know? Plus, most of the time, just saying who gets the meaning across perfectly fine. But the biggest one, the fear factor. People are just scared of using it wrong. And since we learn how to talk from our friends and family, who almost never use it, the word just kind of disappears. And this, right here, just nails it. As this Reddit user points out so perfectly, there's a real irony here. People often try to use whom to sound smart, but then they get it wrong, which, well, it has the complete opposite effect. You got to admit, that's pretty funny. All right, enough about the problem. Let's get to the solution. I'm about to show you a simple, almost magical little trick that is going to solve this who versus whom puzzle for good. Ready? And here it is. This is your secret weapon. It's called the he-him method, and it is so simple. Here's the deal. You use who if you can answer the question with he. He is the one doing the action. He's the subject. You use whom if you can answer the question with him. Him is the one receiving the action. He's the object. That's it. And if you want an even easier way to lock it in, just look at the letter M. Him ends with an M. Whom ends with an M. That little M is your anchor. If you're thinking him, you should be writing whom. Okay, so theory is one thing, but let's actually see how this plays out in a real world. It is time to put our new little trick to the test. Okay, here's our first example. Take a quick look. Who or whom invited Richard? How would you answer that question? Just think about it for a second. Well, if we just answer the question, we would say, he invited Richard. The key word there is he. And because the answer is he, our rule tells us that the correct choice is who. He equals who. See? Simple as that. All right, you ready for round two? Let's try another one. Who or whom did mom invite to the party? Again, just try to answer that question in your head. The answer would be, mom invited him to the party. You see the difference? In this sentence, the person is receiving the invitation. They are the object. And because our answer is him, we know the correct word is whom. Just remember that M trick. Him, whom. It works perfectly every single time. Okay, so now that you've totally mastered the trick, let's talk about real life. When should you actually bother using whom? So the general agreement is pretty clear. You'll definitely want to pull out whom for any kind of formal writing. You know, business emails, academic papers, that sort of thing. It's also always the right choice after a preposition. Words like to, for, or with. So it's always to whom, for whom, and of course, you need it for those classic fixed phrases, like to whom it may concern. But what about just chatting with your friends, texting? Here's the main takeaway, and it's a big one. In casual, everyday conversation, just using who is almost always completely fine. You do not need to stress about it. Language changes, and in most situations these days, whom has just taken a backseat. And all of this leaves us with one final, pretty interesting thought. This whole who versus whom thing really highlights this tension in language, doesn't it? On one side, you have the formal rules, but on the other, you have the living, breathing language that people actually use every day. So what do you think? Is preserving words like whom important for keeping a language rich? Or is it just fighting against the natural way language is supposed to change? Definitely something to think about.